Hello, hello, hello. I'm back again. Your main, the real Bill Real. I have a quick clip that I want to play for you. And what I want you to understand is that the problem with the so called African American uh, society, peoples, if you will, and their brothers is the fact that they don't have true leadership. Now, this is a video that is an interview of Bishop T.D. Jakes. And there are a few things in the video that, I can clearly see is the reason why we're not getting anywhere. But I just want to point out the one thing that he says in the entire video. And when you hear it, you're going to know um, what I'm talking about. So, without any further ado, let's get into it.
Let's ask Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's the founder and senior pastor of the Potter's House of Dallas. Good to see you, Bishop.
It's a pleasure.
It's been so long, and I used to go to your church in Dallas when I lived there. So,
miss you. Come back.
well, such an honor to be in your presence again, and I remember many of your sermons. Let's talk about the president. Is he in a difficult situation here? Did he do the right thing? Did he do the wrong thing? How do you see it?
The way I see it, every now and then cases come along that really capture the fascination of the entire nation. Trayvon Martin's case was that sort of case. I just left Aurora, Colorado, where we did a memorial service. That was another situation. Though Trayvon's was less people, it captured the fascination of the nation. I think people are curious to hear what the president thinks at times like that.
But did he invoke the right tone? Is it right for him to speak about it? Should we be addressing the issue of racism? Or should he be talking about what I said in the lead-in, which was these shootings that are happening in his hometown, where it's mostly black-on-black crime?
Well, that's an issue that he has spoken about. It's something that we continue to talk about.
That's not the truth, sir. He doesn't talk about it. I'd like to see the interview where he's talking about the issue. But you're going to make an excuse for him. Let's go.
Within our own community, but it doesn't always get the press. And so a lot of times what you speak about, whether people...
Okay. He's telling us that there's an interview that he's given. We're talking about Barack Obama, where he has talked about the shootings. But he's saying that, well, if we don't get any press, hey, that's not our problem. So he's saying to everybody who does not rely on CNN, you didn't see it because nobody posted it up on the internet. Nobody posted it up anywhere. Just want to show you, but let's go.
Mute you out is based on whether they heard you say it on television. But there's an ongoing problem in Washington, D.C., where the Capitol is, in Los Angeles, it's all over the world. So it's an ongoing problem. I don't think he can become the police officer, but this is a great opportunity for us to talk about race in this country.
Did you hear what he just say? It's a good opportunity for him to be a police officer. We're talking about Barry being a police officer. I think it's a good idea. That's what he's saying. Let's go.
And I think that it can be the impetus for change. If we begin to understand that we're not a monolithic society, that
He's saying that we're not a monolithic. What he means to say is that we're not a monotheistic. Meaning that he is saying on national TV that, hey, there are many gods. And this is the problem in the black community, in the Israelite community. This is the problem. They preach polytheism. There are many gods, many Baals. You can serve Jabulan. You can serve a few in your fraternity. You can serve multiple gods. You can be an Eastern Star. You can do all kinds of things. You can be in Boule. This is the problem. Idolatry, the worshiping of idols, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evils. It's in the Apocrypha, people. This is the problem. Now, people may say, oh, you're crazy, Bill. There's no way that that's the real problem. Go and look at every type of situation that's going on where there is some type of injustice. It's a curse because the people are involved in idolatry. Their mom goes to a church, that's idolatry. Their dad does, their aunt. Somebody's praying for them in the name of Jesus, which is Hail Zeus. Somebody's praying to him in the name of the Lord, which is Baal, the devil. Jehovah, God of chaos. Come on. This is what's going on. This is really the problem. But most people are going to hear this message and think, oh, he's a quack. This guy's lost his mind. But trust me when I tell you. Let's go.
We are very, very diverse, and there's a great need for us to develop ways to get along better, to become more cohesive, and we can't do that if we don't talk about it.
He has a church that's multicultural, but he wants you to believe that we need to talk about it. He knows that there's no such thing as that bullcrap up in his church. There's nobody coming up in his church giving a tenth of their income and their offering that's going to be tripping, race baiting up in his church. He's not having it day one. But he wants the American people to believe we need to talk about racism so we can get along better. This is a load. I'm telling you. Let's go.
You have that talent of bringing people together of all different races, and you're going to have a new TV show that's on BET.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about it.
That's exciting. The show is called Mind, Body, and Soul. It's going to be on BET, and we hope for it to be ultimately be syndicated. But it is a weekly show, and it's an opportunity to talk about faith, but also about
Hold on. Notice how you just said that quickly? Faith. He didn't talk about anything that's going to be truly uplifting to you. It's just going to be a whole bunch of sugary candy, things sweet to your ear, things that make you feel good, but won't get to any of the truth of why he won't tell you that the black folks are the Israelites, why he won't tell you that the black folks are the Jews that are talked about in the Bible. He won't tell you that the Messiah's name is Yeshua. He won't tell you that the creator's name is Yahweh. He won't say that on any of his shows. But he's going to show you all of these people that are Masons that he has come onto his show as he sits up and he just talks with them. But let's go. Come on.
About how we process pain and trial and tribulations, and about our health and all of that. I'm going to talk about everything. I've been interviewing everybody from Marvin Sapp, the gospel artist, to LL Cool J, to Steve Harvey across the end. We did a show, incidentally, on gun violence centered around the crisis in Chicago that is going to air on BET. So we really are covering the waterfront of different issues that are of interest to people today.
And I know one of the big things you say in this discussion we've been having today is that fatherlessness is the biggest problem, or one of them, in your mind.
I do think so. I mean,
now I'm going to agree with that she brought up, but until he's ready to talk about releasing some of the non-violent offenders, the non-violent Israelites that are doing some serious time, okay, who got hit with that mandatory minimum a couple of years ago, and until he's talking about putting those guys on the buses, until he's talking about a program that puts those guys in the schools where they need to be over these kids, to get these kids right, until he starts talking about some mandatory working in the hemp fields to get the economy back together, until he starts talking about that type of conversation, everything he's going to tell you is a load of crap. Okay, it's just fluff. It's just something that's to dance around the issue. And the issue is they need those men out of prison, and they need them actively involved in society. And they need a backbone system that tells them the truth, not a bunch of lies. But let's let him tell you.
The stats are alarming today of the amount of children that grow up in fatherless homes, disproportionately so in African Americans, but even in the general populace, it is increasing rapidly. And we've got to talk about this because it is a substratum of prison, of teenage pregnancies. The stats are very, very high on dropouts.
Okay, well, how about you bringing up the fact that it's the Jesuits that are behind the schools with the books written the way that they are? How about you talk about the different programs that they have and set up, making sure that Planned Parenthood is definitely in the hoods all over? How about you start talking about some of the things that they're doing, the poisonous, the making it readily available for a lot of drugs to be in these certain areas? And then they're constantly coming and locking them up, mandatory minimums. They're the ones who are passing these laws. Why don't you talk about them? But you won't ever talk about them because, that's the true, cause of all that stuff. That's what's behind all of this. So I just felt like I just need to expose to you what's going on with the leadership and why so many people are saying the same thing. Now he is one probably of probably what 2,000, 20,000, or something like that. Anywhere from 22 to 20,000 ministers that are basically up under him and that are saying the same message, and they're spreading the same kind of message to all of the people in the neighborhoods. Got everybody in a zombie type state, like they don't understand what's really going on, because he is an idolater, and he says that we're not living in a monotheistic, society. I just want to tie up what I'm telling you and why I'm saying what I'm saying. But let's go.
From school because they have no fathers in the home. And we're going to tackle that. Oprah Winfrey and I are going.
We're going to tackle that. Now, remember that he said that he was going to tackle it. That there are no fathers in the home, as he quickly jumped to another issue. Because he doesn't have any solutions about how to do that. Because that would require him to put a bill forward that gets all of the people to sign a petition online, and they get these guys out and they get them back into society. But nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to advocate for the rights of these guys that got caught up, and they really are impressionable, and you can do something with them, and they're not lost yet. They want to do what's right. They have a contrite heart. This is what people really need. This is the intervention that is needed, but he's going to just tell you about him and Oprah and how they're going to do something to make you feel so good. Let's go.
A team up and at MegaFest in Dallas, Texas. It's going to be Labor Day weekend, and Oprah is going to team up with me, and we're going to take on these issues, some of these family issues, and begin to talk about them. And it's a part of the festival. It's going to be a lot of fun with a lot of other things engaged into it, from church to Women of Purpose concerts, musical concerts, all going on in Dallas. But that is one of the things that we're going to talk about.
Basically, a big event to make a lot of money. Where there's a huge crowd, I promise you, that's where the lies are. When you got a little small committee meeting up, the Father's right in the midst of it. If they represent the truth. Remember this, people. Remember I told you. Let's go.
As well.
All right, fantastic. And people can check out your new show on BET. All the great success I hope continues to come your way. Good to see you, Bishop.
Well, there you have it. This is the problem with the black community. They are up under idolatrous leadership. That's why you have so many cases of the girls having babies at 14, 15 years old, involved in premarital sex, fornication. That's why you have so many people in the church having sex with one another. That's the reason why you have so much homosexuality in the church. This is the reason. There's wickedness in there. Masonry is running rampant in there.